Welcome to the Discourse Analyzer AI Toolkit, where articles come alive. You're listening to the audio version of our article. For the full text and an interactive experience, check out the link in the description below. Interact with any selection using our AI assistant to enhance your understanding. Let's explore.
Social functions of language in discourse analysis. In discourse analysis, the social functions of language refer to how language is used not just to convey information, but to perform various roles within society. Language serves as a powerful tool for maintaining relationships, establishing identities, negotiating power dynamics, and structuring social interactions. By examining these functions, discourse analysis reveals the broader social and cultural significance of language use in different contexts. 1. Key social functions of language: establishing and negotiating identity, self-presentation and identity work. One of the primary functions of language is to establish and negotiate social identity. Individuals use language to express who they are, what groups they belong to, and how they relate to others. Self-presentation. Language allows individuals to present themselves in specific ways, emphasizing aspects of their identity that they want others to recognize. Group identity. Language signals membership in particular social, cultural, or professional groups. This includes the use of specific jargon, dialects, or speech styles. Example: in an online gaming community, players use specific slang or acronyms, e.g., GG, for good game, that signal their identity as experienced gamers, marking their belonging to that group. Expressing power and authority. Directive language and politeness strategies. Language is a key tool for expressing and reinforcing power dynamics and authority within social interactions. It can establish dominance, control conversations, and enforce social hierarchies. Directive language. Commands, orders, and directives are explicit ways of exercising power in language. Politeness strategies. Indirect language, such as polite requests or suggestions, can also reflect underlying power relations. Example: a manager in a workplace might use directive language like, "We need to focus on this task immediately," clearly establishing their authority. Alternatively, they might say, "It would be great if we could all concentrate on this task," using a more collaborative tone that still implies authority. Building and maintaining relationships. Emphatic communication and solidarity. Language plays a crucial role in building, maintaining, and negotiating social relationships. Through language, people express solidarity, empathy, politeness, and social bonds. Emphatic communication. Small talk and routine greetings serve important social functions by establishing rapport and maintaining relationships. Expressing solidarity. Inclusive language. We, us, terms of endearment, or shared humor can express closeness and mutual support. Example: in a family setting, the use of nicknames or affectionate language, honey, dear, helps maintain close relationships and express affection, reinforcing social bonds. Regulating social interaction. Turn-taking and politeness strategies. Language regulates the flow of social interaction by setting norms for how conversations should proceed, including turn-taking, topic management, and the use of politeness strategies. Turn-taking. Conversations are organized around a system of turn-taking, where speakers alternate when it's someone else's turn to speak. Politeness strategies. Using language to soften requests or disagreements helps manage social harmony and avoid conflict. Example: in a formal meeting, participants might use phrases like, "if I may add," or "could I just say," to signal their desire to speak without interrupting others, regulating the interaction and maintaining a respectful discussion. Managing conflict. Mitigating conflict and confrontational language. Language is a key tool for managing and resolving conflicts. It can be used to de-escalate tensions, negotiate compromises, and express apologies or justifications. Mitigating conflict. Softeners, hedges, and indirect language can reduce the potential for conflict in conversations. Confrontational language. Direct language, accusations, or blame can escalate conflicts, depending on the context and the relationship between the participants. Example: in a disagreement between colleagues, one might say, "I see your point, but I think we might need to consider," instead of directly saying, "You're wrong," to avoid escalating the conflict and keep the discussion constructive. Performing social rituals. Ritualized language and ceremonial language. Language is central to performing social rituals, such as greetings, farewells, apologies, and other culturally significant interactions. These rituals reinforce social norms and values. Ritualized language. Phrases like, "How are you?" or "Thank you," are used in a ritualized manner to follow social norms. Ceremonial language. In formal events like weddings, funerals, or religious ceremonies, specific language is used to mark the significance of the occasion. Example: at a wedding, the phrase, "I now pronounce you husband and wife," is a ceremonial utterance that performs the social function of officially recognizing the marriage, based on cultural and legal norms, transmitting and reinforcing cultural norms. Proverbs, sayings, and storytelling. Language is a primary vehicle for transmitting and reinforcing cultural norms, values, and traditions. Societies use language to pass down beliefs, practices, and moral codes from one generation to the next. Proverbs and sayings. These encapsulate cultural values and wisdom, serving as a means of teaching and reinforcing norms. Storytelling. Narratives, whether in oral tradition or written form, are a powerful way to transmit cultural knowledge and social norms. Example: the saying, "Actions speak louder than words," reinforces a cultural value that prioritizes deeds over mere promises, encouraging people to act rather than just talk. Point 2. Examples of social functions of language in various contexts. Workplace communication. In the workplace, language is used to establish hierarchies, manage relationships, and facilitate collaboration. Expressing authority. A supervisor might use imperatives, "Please complete this by Friday," to assert authority, while subordinates might use more deferential language, "Could you please review this when you have time?" to acknowledge the hierarchy. Building relationships. Small talk before meetings. "How was your weekend?" serves to build rapport and ease into more formal discussions. Political speeches. In political discourse, language is used to build national identity, express authority, and rally support. Building identity. A politician might use inclusive language, "We the people, our nation," to build a collective identity and foster unity. Persuading. Through rhetorical strategies like repetition, "Yes, we can," politicians reinforce key messages and persuade audiences to support their views. Educational settings. In educational contexts, language functions to instruct, manage classroom behavior, and build relationships. Instructing. A teacher uses directive language, "Open your textbooks to page 10 inches," to guide students and maintain classroom order. Building rapport. Teachers might use informal language, humor, or encouragement to build positive relationships with students. Media discourse. Media language functions to inform, entertain, and influence public opinion. Influencing opinion. The way news is reported, e.g., the choice of words like "freedom fighter" versus "terrorist" can influence public perception of events or people. Establishing norms. Repeated use of certain language in media, e.g., war on terror, illegal immigrants, can normalize specific viewpoints and shape public discourse. Conclusion. Understanding the social functions of language is crucial in discourse analysis, as it reveals how language shapes social reality, influences behavior, and maintains the fabric of society. By examining these functions in various contexts, discourse analysis provides deep insights into how language reflects and constructs social life, helping us understand the broader social and cultural significance of language use. Frequently asked questions. What are the social functions of language in discourse analysis? The social functions of language refer to how language is used to perform various roles within society, such as maintaining relationships, establishing identities, negotiating power dynamics, and structuring social interactions. In discourse analysis, these functions are examined to understand the broader social and cultural significance of language use in different contexts. How does language establish and negotiate identity? Language is a primary tool for establishing and negotiating social identity. Through self-presentation and identity work, individuals use language to express who they are, what groups they belong to, and how they relate to others. For example, specific jargon or dialects can signal membership in particular social, cultural, or professional groups. How does language express power and authority? Language expresses power and authority through directive language, such as commands and orders, and through more subtle means like politeness strategies. The choice of words, tone, and level of directness in communication can establish dominance, control conversations, and enforce social hierarchies. What role does language play in building and maintaining relationships? Language is crucial in building and maintaining social relationships through emphatic communication, such as small talk and expressions of solidarity. These linguistic strategies help establish rapport, show empathy, and reinforce social bonds. For instance, using inclusive language or shared humor can strengthen group cohesion and mutual support. How does language regulate social interaction? Language regulates social interaction by setting norms for how conversations should proceed. This includes turn-taking, topic management, and the use of politeness strategies to maintain social harmony and avoid conflict. For example, phrases like, "if I may add," signal a desire to speak without interrupting, helping to manage the flow of conversation. How is language used to manage conflict? Language is a key tool for managing conflict through mitigating strategies, such as using softeners and hedges, or through more confrontational language, depending on the context. By carefully choosing words and tone, individuals can de-escalate tensions, negotiate compromises, or express apologies to resolve disputes. What are social rituals in language, and how are they performed? Social rituals involve the use of ritualized and ceremonial language in culturally significant interactions, such as greetings, farewells, apologies, and formal ceremonies. These rituals reinforce social norms and values, such as using phrases like, "thank you," or, "I now pronounce you husband and wife," to perform social functions within specific cultural contexts. How does language transmit and reinforce cultural norms? Language transmits and reinforces cultural norms through proverbs, sayings, and storytelling. These forms of communication encapsulate cultural values and wisdom, passing down beliefs, practices, and moral codes from one generation to the next. For example, proverbs like, "actions speak louder than words," convey important cultural lessons. Can you provide an example of how language functions in workplace communication? In the workplace, language is used to establish hierarchies, manage relationships, and facilitate collaboration. A supervisor might assert authority through imperatives like, "please complete this by Friday," while small talk before meetings, such as, "how was your weekend?" serves to build rapport and ease into more formal discussions. How does language function in political discourse? In political discourse, language is used to build national identity, express authority, and rally support. Politicians may use inclusive language like, "we the people," to foster unity, or employ rhetorical strategies such as repetition, "yes, we can," to persuade audiences and reinforce key messages. How does language function in educational settings? In educational contexts, language functions to instruct, manage classroom behavior, and build relationships. Teachers use directive language to guide students, such as, "open your textbooks to page 10, and informal language or humor to build positive relationships with students. How does media discourse influence public opinion through language? Media discourse influences public opinion by the way language is used to frame issues, such as using terms like freedom fighter versus terrorist. Repeated use of specific language in media can normalize certain viewpoints and shape public discourse, establishing norms and influencing how events or people are perceived. Why is understanding the social functions of language important in discourse analysis? Understanding the social functions of language is crucial because it reveals how language shapes social reality, influences behavior, and maintains the fabric of society. By examining these functions, discourse analysis provides insights into how language reflects and constructs social life, helping us understand the broader social and cultural significance of language use in various contexts.